controversy surrounding 50 Cent and Big Meech. 50 Cent is, I guess you can consider it beefing with Big Meech because Big Meech is piling up with some of 50 Cent's music rivals, primarily Rick Ross. So apparently there's a benefit concert event taking place in Florida featuring a lot of big names in rap and hip hop. And I believe the concert is related to Big Meech, and Rick Ross is involved, and Rick Ross and Big Meech have some kind of a relationship together. 50 Cent is not a fan of that because 50 Cent and Rick Ross got issues. And so now, 50 Cent is going scorched earth on Big Meech, unmuting on social media, calling Big Meech everything, including being a snitch, which of course is
Oh no.
that is a no bueno. Yeah. Whenever you're dealing with somebody who is from the streets and all of that kind of stuff, the one thing that you don't do is invoke the use of the word snitch to describe that person or that individual. So, and I've seen videos of like Rick Ross, for example, has posted videos mocking 50 Cent, who has an issue with the fact that 50 Cent and that Rick Ross and Big Meech have a relationship. So this says Big Meech breaks silence after being ruthlessly mocked by 50 Cent. 50 Cent wants 50 Cent wants smoke at all times. He's looking for a reason to declare war on a rival via social media. He did just that with Big Meech. The G Unit mogul produces the crime series BMF, which is loosely based on Meech's life. He didn't like seeing the former drug trafficker hanging out with sworn enemy Rick Ross, however, and decided to make it known. He called Big Meech a rat and suggested that he would fire the drug trafficker's son, Lil Meech, who appears on the series. Well, the elder Meech has finally responded, sort of. Meech doesn't mention 50 Cent by name. He does make it clear he's not going to let anybody push him around. I wasn't going to address this, he said, because I'm not trying to let nobody trick me off the streets. I never folded, I never told, never will. Death before dishonor always with me. Big Meech decided to end his post on a more positive note and promote his upcoming concert. I'm doing this for my loved ones, he explained, and the support of my friends and family. The concert in question was partially to blame for the 50 Cent drama. The Welcome Back concert is set for February 13th in Florida. A myriad of superstar rappers are set to appear on the stage, including 42 Doug, Sexy Red, Kodak Black, and yes, Rick Ross. This this selection makes this selection makes sense on multiple levels. One, Rose is one of the biggest rappers to come out of Florida in the 21st century. Second, Rose gave Big Meech a lot of shine when he name dropped him on the 2010 single BMF. Third, the rapper was said to have helped Meech out financially. This third revelation came from 50 Cent, of all people. The G Unit legend posted a text conversation between him and Lil Meech. 50 also decided to respond to the ex drug trafficker's response. He wasted no time crafting an Instagram comment that undercut the video message. Meech is not even going to be there, 50 said in reference to the concert. He can't go out after 6 p.m., but don't take my word for it. Go ahead and knock yourself out. The feud continues. So here is a snippet of that post from Big Meech. Hold on, I gotta refresh it. I forgot. I played it before we started.
All right, all good.
All right, so here's what Meech had to say.
I wasn't going to address this because I'm not trying to let nobody trick me off the streets. But I never folded, never told, never will. Death before dishonor, always with me. And the support of my friends and family to come out to the Amarana Arena.
Very good, Meech. Don't let them trick you off the streets.
Yeah, don't let them trick you off the streets, bro. So, what do you make of this situation? What do you make of 50's trolling? What do you make of Meech's response, the whole concert deal? What's your take on that?
I mean, honestly, bro, I could not believe this was flooding the internet airwaves People seem to be invested in this, I guess. Um, and I'm looking at the ages of these characters, and they're all in their 40s and 50s. And they're acting like kids. 50 is extremely petty, so I get that. We'll cover a 50 Cent topic every other month, it seemed like, because he's always trolling somebody online. And so, I'm not surprised that he's gotten this petty with Big Meech. But, um, you know, for Big Meech to come out here and, I mean, he's got to keep it up. He's got this whole persona going. But at some point, when do you drop it all? Um, you know, if you, let's say that he didn't snitch, or whatever the hell, for whatever context, if he didn't snitch, there's no need for him to speak. If he really grew up and grew out of this stuff, if he learned his lesson while being in there and realized that this street life ain't what it really is, and there's no need to respond to this type of stuff. But the mere fact that he had to respond and say that he ain't never snitch, he ain't never fold, death before dishonor. It sounds like you snitched. Now, that's like that's what a snitch would say. So I wasn't really believing that. I really wasn't. So, but even with all that stuff being said, man, to me, I really feel as though that this whole situation highlights the part of our culture that needs to go. The whole street code stuff, because you gotta be honest. The dudes, there's all these dudes that's talking all this street stuff. I would argue that the overwhelming majority of them don't live it. They don't live it. They this is a do as I say, not as I do kind of lifestyle. All these dudes claim that they're 10 toes down and they're gonna hold somebody down, they solid and they this, but these conviction rates for the feds go down because a lot of people talk. So this street lifestyle where these guys got into this because morally they're already in a bad space. You expect them to have morals now amongst thieves? There is none. So these guys, they talk all this stuff as if they have morals, but they don't. And so all of these street codes and stuff, none of them live by them. And it's kind of like how when we talk, well, at least for me, these city girls out here, they'll do all this double talking and they'll talk in code. They'll say all these things and, they really don't even mean it. I'm classy. I don't do that. You're a liar. If you're classy and you didn't do that, you wouldn't have to tell me. And same thing for all these street cats. I'm solid and I'm 10 toes down. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna never snitch. I ain't gonna never fold. That's before the honor. It's like, sound like you snitched and you told. So so a lot of this stuff, man, it's one of those things where real G's move in silence. All right, like lasagna. And they don't talk. If you really about that life, you don't speak on it. And the loudest person in the room is also, often the most scariest or the person that don't have it. So I say all that stuff to say is that all of this street talk, all of this street rhetorics, man, that's going on and proliferating our culture. And it's not in our culture, it's in it. It's that part that needs to go. It's the sewage. And people hang on to this part of these street codes as like a benchmark of what we need to behave overall as a people. And it's not. It's for people who chose to live an underground lifestyle. And even those guys don't abide by those rules. So if you ask me, the whole thing is a fallacy. And it's childish once you see it get played out, especially by people that's supposed to be elders, especially by people that's supposed to have learned from their lessons. So 50 Cent, Big Meech, Kodak Black, Sexy Red, 42 Doug, these are the clowns of our culture or of our people. And these are the types of things that we need to eliminate in future generations, these types of characters. So for me, this whole situation just highlighted everything that needs to go within our community, not anything that cherished, upheld, investigated. I don't care if he snitched or not. I think the whole premise of this stuff is stupid. You were selling drugs to our community, and you promoted a lifestyle in our community of destroying it and trying to uphold it as you're some type of ambassador of our people. You're not, you know. So for 50 Cent, for his stupid ass TV shows, for Big Meech, who seems to be apparently still holding on to street codes, and Rick Ross, uh, who's just an absolute clown himself. All of the characters involved, they get lashes from me. I don't think anybody on this side is on the right side of the fence. But what are your thoughts, man, on Big Meech, Rick Ross, 50 Cents, this whole fiasco? What are your thoughts, bro?
Yeah, right on with that. With all of that, I don't have much to add. I agree with all of that. I remember when we talked about. I think we covered this. Meek Mill was saying he wants to pay a private investigator or somebody. Remember, didn't we talk
Yeah,
about that?
yeah, I think we
Yeah,
did,
he
man.
said he wanted to pay certain amount of money for a private investigator to investigate the legitimacy of the claims that he was at Diddy parties. And my overall point with that was, if you are innocent, why
Right,
argue with somebody over something that didn't happen?
right.
And I used the first time I heard this was in Jay-Z Takeover, but I'm pretty sure Jay-Z didn't make this up. But Jay-Z in the Takeover on the last verse when he said, "A wise man told me don't argue with fools because people from a distance can't tell who is who."
Mhm.
Right? So if I don't know whether you went to a Diddy party or not, someone's asserting you did, and now you're going back and forth with them, asserting that you didn't. I don't know who to believe. So as far as I'm concerned, you very well could have been there.
Exactly.
Because you might know that you're innocent and you weren't there, but I can't tell the difference between who's telling the truth and who isn't. You guys just look like two people lying to one another. So I only bring that up to say, when it comes to Meech and his retort to 50 Cent, who cares, bro? Like, whether you snitched or, like, if you didn't snitch, for example, because he says he didn't, whatever, death before dishonor, all of that good stuff.
Yeah.
Like, my whole thing is, why respond to someone who is at this point a professional troll?
Right.
Like, 50 Cent is a professional social media troll.
Absolutely.
So I kind of feel like if you engage in a back and forth with a professional troll, you're sort of opting into
Mhm.
troll-like behavior, where
Mhm.
you're now a part of this court gesturing back and forth trolling situation for entertainment value. That's how I
Yeah,
see it.
I agree. I
Yeah.
agree.
So, like, if you're above the fray and you know that you weren't involved in anything that he's talking about, the best thing for you to do is just not respond to it
Exactly.
and to just have your benefit concert and move on. But something that you said was pretty interesting. It's this whole, again, it takes it back to the idea that the various aspects of rap culture are
Mhm.
synonymous with the community's culture.
Agreed.
Meaning the behaviors therein are the behaviors that you have to implement personally in real life to
Mhm.
prove your authenticity.
Mhm.
So if the behavior is inherent in the culture of the music is making sure everyone knows you're not a snitch, declaring you're not a snitch, showing everybody that it's death before dishonor, then you then also have to bring that same behavior into your actual life,
Right.
because it's all the same. It's synonymous.
Correct.
This is our culture to be this way,
Correct.
which I think was a roundabout way of what you were hinting at, where it's like this whole thing is just clown-like behavior that the community needs to kind of get rid of.
Mhm.
And yeah, I do agree with that, because it's like, who cares, bro? Like, no one is co-signing anything that 50 Cent is saying because he's being a troll.
Exactly.
So for you to respond to it, it at least adds the specter of the possibility that there's some legitimacy to it because you feel compelled to say something about it.
Agreed.
You know, that's how I see it.
Yeah.
But when you're dealing with this hip hop, rap music, it's synonymous with the culture of our community, the relationship they're in, and it ain't no snitching in the music. Therefore, there's also no snitching in real life
Right.
because that's the culture of the music. Therefore, that's the culture of us for real.
Right.
That's the part of it where he has to unmute and say something because to him he has to be authentic to the culture, which is to make it known that for real he's not about this.
All right.
Just like he has to make it known over there in social media troll world and in hip hop rap music world that he's not about this. So all the way around, man, it goes back to the central notion that the tenets of the music are synonymous with the tenets of us as real human beings, which is the central issue, I would say. And again, man, when you have these agents, people like 50 Cent, when 50 Cent said, and I'm gonna bring this up again, but I don't care because it drives the point home. When 50 Cent says publicly that Power Book 3 or whatever book it is, Raising Canaan, is a form of entertainment which authentically represents Black and Latino communities. He's not saying that. He means that when he says that.
Agreed.
He believes that. He believes that a lot of the themes inherent in his entertainment authentically represent those communities. In so much to say that the drug dealing and the murder and the incarceration and the prison authentically represents those communities. Now, it's one thing to say that those things are an aspect, a part of some of the aspects of those communities, but don't represent those communities in totality. It's one thing to say that, but in his mind, he believes that authentically represents those communities in full. When you have people who say that publicly, there's a reason for that. He believes that. He means it. So that's the kind of mentality that speaks to an individual such as Meech, who feels compelled to be like, hey, I ain't no snitch, and respond to 50 Cent's comments. And look, I'm the furthest thing from a street guy, so don't get it twisted. I ain't involved with no street activity. I don't know well, I do know street people, but I don't rub elbows with them. You know what I'm saying? And all of that good stuff. But it's this whole notion of authenticity with respect to cultural values that is at the root of what I think is why he had to respond in that manner. And I just feel like if you didn't really do it, why respond to a troll? But when you think responding, reinforces your authenticity in his mind, he probably felt as though he had no choice.
Yeah, and I agree, bro. And I agree with all of that. And I think part of Meech is because social media became a thing when he was away. So I don't think he know how this thing worked still. And yeah, he kind of went for the bait by just speaking on it, period, to 50. So yeah, he didn't address 50 directly, but he's talking about what 50's talking about. Nobody else called Big Meech a snitch. 50 was around here calling him Big Screech. But who else says that but a troll?
Right.
So he was like, ain't nobody gonna call me Big Screech. I gotta let the streets know that I'm still Big Meech out here, and this BMF for life. It was like, bro, what are we living in, bro? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is an alternative universe, apparently, bro. Because I couldn't believe that these guys are actually playing this thing out. At what point are these adults gonna be adults? But I don't think none of them are or ever will. So that's why I would rather point at them and use them as a spectacle, as they are, and go, now look at them, y'all. Look at them squirm. Look at them fight for this imaginary street cred. this ideology, this philosophy that was created for the destruction of our own people, and they're fighting to see who's at the top of that chain. Look at
Who can preserve it? Yeah.
who can preserve it, who's at the top of it. You know what I'm saying? Who's holding it down the hardest? Look at them fight to see who can destroy our people the best. And so, and as these two let this thing play out, you know what I'm saying? They have their concert with the rest of the flunkies, that promote degeneracy within our community. So as we watch this continue, these people are calling themselves out. And so, so I would like to just highlight this event that is going on, not as something that the streets need to get involved in politically, because there's people getting politically involved in this, picking sides, calling people this, calling people that. It's like we shouldn't do this. Let this play out in front of us, and let's see how these clowns play themselves. I'm not gonna be watching this intently. I mean, the internet is letting me know what's going on anyway. Yeah. But as this unfolds, I will be watching how these gentlemen play themselves, and hopefully the community can see that these elderly men who should be teaching our youth better ways of living and not live the street life they once lived. But instead we're watching these guys promote the same stuff that got one of them a life sentence damn near, and another one shot 9 times. So all of these guys get lashes, including everybody on the concert benefit thing. If it's actually a benefit that's going to good people, solid, but y'all still catching lashes. So man, unbelievable, these people.
Yeah, I mean, well, look at that set list, bro. Sexy Red, 40, like Sexy Red, 42 Doug, Rick Ross. Why not? Like,
Kodak.
Yeah. I'd be surprised if we're gonna see you ain't gonna see Lupe Fiasco pop up in there.
Nah,
you ain't gonna see that, but it is what it is, man. Yeah, I'm with all of that, bro. So I'm not with this stuff either, but somewhere in America, it's a lot of people who are signing up for all of this.
Unbelievable.